Bash in Berlin was an absolute roller coaster of emotions, expecting a lot of heel turns, a lot of face activity, potential title changes, and overall, we thought we would have some banger matches. Now, the biggest question is, did it live up to the hype? And by the end of this review, we're going to decide, did the pay-per-view live up to the hype for going to Germany for the first time in almost 30 full years? Let's find out if it lived up to the hype. Now, really quickly, before we get into the video, if you guys enjoy professional wrestling content, make sure to hit that subscription button down below. I'd really appreciate it. You'll get all my future videos. And if you ring that bell for notifications, you'll get notified every single time I post. So let's talk about Bash in Berlin real quick. So I'm going to go in order, and let's start off with the first match of the night, which was Kevin Owens against Cody Rhodes. Now, going into this match, we all thought that it was a 100% chance that Kevin Owens is going to turn on Cody Rhodes and become heel again and become that, I guess, next heel type feud that he has and like the next thing for Kevin Owens. But we kept seeing Kevin Owens too scared to turn heel, too scared to go back to the dark side from which he once came. We kept seeing them tease on SmackDown that he was going to turn on him, whether it be him having his back turned and Kevin Owens looked like he was going to attack him, whether it be him bringing up the knee and making it seem like he's going to attack the knee on the following SmackDown. And there were multiple instances and opportunities for Kevin Owens to really turn heel in this match. But ultimately, Kevin Owens did not turn heel, did not revert to the dark side. He teased us a lot of times, and he just wasn't able to overcome super duper Cody Rhodes, the new coming of Hulk Hogan. The match overall was pretty good. The pacing felt off. I personally think Cody Rhodes was sick. Like, I mean, when I say sick, I mean like literally sick with a cold. When we heard him do promos on the previous SmackDown, he sounded like he was sick, and the match felt very slow compared to like a Kevin Owens and a Cody Rhodes match. And a lot of the spots felt like they were helping each other through a lot of it. And I think either Cody Rhodes' knee is actually hurt from doing all those house shows, or I think the man was sick and, you know, just going through the motions of getting the match done and entertaining the fans. Overall, the match was okay. I don't think it really did anything storyline wise for either of them. Like, we had the expectation that Cody was going to win. We had the expectation that he wasn't going to heel turn when I talk about Kevin Owens, and it doesn't really let either guy go in either direction. Like, it just felt like they're in the same exact spot that they were before the match. If I had to like give this match like a rating, I'd probably say it was like a 5, just because like I'm so neutral about it. Like, I have no negative because I thought the match was decent and the crowd loved it, but like it did nothing for advancing either guy, and there was nothing like super special in the match to be like, wow, that was great. Next up, we have the tag team title match between Unholy Union, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, this is another match where for some reason every single person wanted to see a heel turn for Jade Cargill against Bianca. I do think it's a little early, but I did think we were going to get a little dissension in this match between the two, and surprisingly not. I thought the match was pretty good when it comes to like match quality wise. I think all 4 women did phenomenal in their spots. I think both teams looked believable in winning the matches, but ultimately I think it's very obvious that the WWE really wants to push Jade and Bianca. They both sell a lot of merch, they both are larger than life characters, and they both have the ability to really do things that not many women on the roster can do. Like, you can argue that Jade, Bianca, and Rhea are the only 3 women that can do 90% of the things that they do. With that being said, I mean, I actually predicted this wrong. I did think Unholy Union was going to retain. I still think Unholy Union is the best women's tag team in all of the WWE, but Jade and Bianca ended up winning this match, and they had a really cool sequence for their finisher. I don't remember if they ever did it before, but it was kind of like a jaded into like a code breaker into like a push away, like German suplex. It was actually really cool. I hope they can perfect that move because it is one of the coolest tag team moves I feel like we've seen in a very long time. But they are your new champions. I actually don't know what they're going to do with their stories now, because in my head, if Jade and Bianca lost and Bianca's the one who got pinned, Jade can start getting some dissension, being like, hey, you're kind of holding me back. I'm going to throw you to the side. But now that they won, I guess Alba Fire and Allenownz are going to try to get a rematch. I don't know. I have no idea where the storyline goes from here. I was kind of hoping we would get some like more clarity with that. Maybe like interference with Blair or interference with Naomi would have kind of helped the story, but it is what it is. Next up, we have the strap match with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. This match was great. I saw a lot of people when I was streaming it say that it was not that good. Guys, you need to remember, CM Punk is no longer in his physical prime. CM Punk is no longer the same guy that's going to put on those 5, 6, 7 stars, some people like to say, like God tier matches that he was able to put on before he left the WWE. But the storytelling they had in this match was phenomenal. They paid homage to the JBL Eddie match. There's a lot of things that they did in this match that was so enjoyable. And it feels like the story is just moving in like the best direction possible. You have a feud that we are all interested in. Each one of the guys got one on top of each other. CM Punk was able to hit so many GTSs. We had Claymores getting hit, Future Shock DDTs. They're fighting outside the ring, inside the ring. We had blood in the match. We had near finishes with people touching. We had egos. Like, there was a couple times where Drew McIntyre could have won, but his ego held him back. There was a time where CM Punk could have won and his ego held him back. Like, CM Punk's whole mind was, I need to get that bracelet before I win the match. There was a point where he could have won the match. He touched all 3 corners, and he's like, you know what? I got to hit one more GTS. I got to get my bracelet back, and I got to touch the 4th corner. The funniest part about it is, the whole time in this match, Drew McIntyre had the bracelet in his trunks. So we're talking about my boy had his juices all over this bracelet, and when he put on the bracelet, he gave it a kiss. When CM Punk won the match, he gave that bracelet a kiss. I think that is one of the funniest things that I've seen like all day, bro. It is so funny and hysterical to me to like watch it go down that way. Then we had what I consider probably the best match of the night. We had the Terror Twins against Liv Dom. I don't know how they're calling it right now, but this match was phenomenal from the second they came out. Dom and Liv came out to the Judgment Day theme, and it was so badass the way that they came out. But then you had the Terror Twins come out. Damian Priest came out to his theme song, and then as he walked out a little bit, This Is My Brutality hit. The energy that they had walking out was just like, you were soaked into the match the second it happened. Then you had Damian absolutely manhandle Dom, and when Liv came in and she got surprised by Rhea coming in, and she was beating the crap out of Liv and like just destroying her. And then they finally, Liv got some action in on Rhea. Looked believable that she could beat Rhea. Dom looked phenomenal too. Like, surprisingly, Dom looked like he could hold his own. You had back and forth. Ultimately, I think we all knew that the Judgment Day would end up coming and interfering in this match, getting involved somehow, some way, to the point where Dom hit a 619. Dom ends up hitting a 5-star frog splash on Damian, but Damian kicked out. I was like, oh my God, they're really going to do it. They're going to have Liv and Dom win the match, but Damian kicks out. Then the Terror Twins somehow beat up the entire Judgment Day. They hit stereo razor's edges on Dom and Liv. Like, they hit literally stereo razor's edges side by side. Boom. Then you had a spot where they went on the outside, and you had Damian destroy the rest of the Judgment Day by himself, and all that's left in the ring is Liv and Rhea put the work on Liv, hit an insane riptide on her, and then did her classic pin and got the 1, 2, 3 pin on her, which it did so much for this, right? Because Finn getting involved in the match got us to progress the story with Finn and Damian, where Finn now didn't get the 1 over on Damian, so now they're both 1-1. So I believe at Bad Blood, they're going to set us up for a match, hopefully a steel cage match. And now that Rhea got a pin on Liv, Rhea can claim that she has a pin on the champion, so she should get another crack at her title. And Dom, Dom did Dom things. He was just, there like he's always there. But the coolest part was after the match when Rhea picks up a unconscious Liv and like holds her head up like a little trophy and then licks her face. I was like, yo, this is so freaking fire. Phenomenal match. I think this was the best match of the night. I think it had the most viral moments of the night. I think overall this was such a good writing and such a good match to have on this card. That was, up until this point, like, outside of CM Punk and Drew, pretty lackluster. And then we make it to the main event of the evening. We had Gunther and Randy Orton, which this match was, this was good, man. So many people were upset at how slow it started, but when these two guys came out, Randy came out, his entrance was kind of weird. It had like flashing lights. I almost had like epilepsy off that. Like, it had flashing lights. But I did notice one thing, and I don't know if you guys had noticed it, but he came out in red gear. And I think he was paying an homage to Ric Flair. Ric Flair, whenever he knew he was losing big matches, he wore red gear. And he walked out in there in red gear, but he took his time. And it's like, it was very Ric Flair-esque the way he came into the match. But when Gunther came out, the place erupted. It felt like literally Gunther was the babyface in this match. And the way that both these guys wrestled, I don't really think there was a babyface in it. They both beat the absolute crap out of each other. And the one cool thing that I felt, I don't know if you guys remember WrestleMania when we had Hulk Hogan and The Rock face to face and the whole crowd was going nuts. The German crowd did that for like 5 minutes when it came to this match. When it started, they were going ballistic. They were standing, they were cheering. It was like, the energy was wild. Like, I did not think that crowd was going to be that hyped up for this match, but they loved it. They brought the energy. These guys beat the crap out of each other. The welts that both these guys had on their chests from the chops, the near falls that we had. Randy hit an RKO. Gunther kicked out of the RKO. Gunther hit him with a power bomb. Gunther hit him with a splash. Gunther hit him with his drop kick. Like, all the finishers that Gunther could have put on Randy had kicked out. Gunther had kicked out. The most viral moment of this match, and I actually think that there's going to be a picture of this that I want to frame it, because I think that this is going to be one of Randy's most famous pictures ever, was Randy Orton had set up steps next to I think it was the German announce table. He set up the steps next to it, and he brought Gunther up, back body dropped him onto the table, and then hit his classic Randy Orton pose. And like, if they would have had a drone, or like, there has to be a picture of this where he's doing that pose standing on the steps, because I think that picture is going to be legendary. But ultimately, the match finally gets into the ring. These guys are all beat the hell up. Randy's going to hit an RKO on Gunther. Gunther pushes him out of the way, and Gunther starts putting in his sleeper. Has it for about a minute. Randy doesn't tap. Randy's trying to break out of it. Randy gets him to let go of the hold. Gunther starts doing his elbows to try to knock him out. He puts in the sleeper hold again. Randy refuses to give up. Gunther starts trying to hold it harder, puts him in a bulldog choke. Randy's breaking the hold. Gunther slaps his back, puts him in the hold again. Randy refuses to give up. Gunther starts elbowing him again. Finally, after about 3 minutes of struggle between Randy and Gunther, Gunther was able to put Randy Orton to sleep and retain his championship at Berlin in front of a crowd that went absolutely ballistic for him. I made my predictions where I said that I think it would be awesome to see Randy win here so he can have feuds with people that he can't because he's on a different show. And there's a lot of guys on Raw that he could have really good feuds with. But ultimately, Gunther was the right choice here. I think if they're going to build him up to be a very believable heel to finally get dethroned by their next babyface, I think this was the right choice. I thought this match cooked. I thought the results of this whole card made absolute sense. Outside of the Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and the Kevin Owens and Cody match, I mean, we expected it the way it was, but overall, I thought this card cooked. I thought this card was great. I've seen a lot of negative reviews from people in my stream giving like a 4 and a 5. I think it was a 6-7. I don't think it was a phenomenal card. It was 5 matches, and there was nothing like too bad about any of the matches. I also feel like Triple H messed up a little bit by not having the right storylines right now. and having the main storylines still be storylines that we've been going on for like months on months on months, that I think people would have fatigued having a lot of the same matches. So I think they did a decent job on this show. I don't want to say anything too negative about it. I really hope Bad Blood gets us some good stipulation matches. I think we were kind of missing that on this card. I think if they would have done a street fight for Kevin Owens and Cody, it would have been better. If they would have done a street fight for the Terror Twins and stuff like that, I think it would have been better. We need a couple more stipulations. Like the fact that we just had the strap match was the only stipulation. I think it would be a lot cooler if we do some cool stuff like that. So hopefully at Bad Blood, we see a Hell in a Cell, steel cage, street fight, maybe a no holds barred, you know, no DQ, whatever. But I thought it was a decent card. I want to know your guys' rating on the card and your guys' opinions on the matches. Let me know down below. And if you guys made it this far, do me one small favor. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for notifications. I hope you guys enjoyed Bash in Berlin. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to say I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. I love you guys. From Allenownz, this is much love from me to y'all. Peace out, everybody.